I would like to call the Flint Board of Education Human Resources Committee of the Whole meeting to order at, is it 6:01 p.m.?
6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock exactly.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Board members, as I call your name, please reply present for the public record. Vice President Wright,
Present.
Secretary Ramsdale,
Present.
Treasurer Green,
Present.
Trustee McIntosh. Trustee McIntosh. Trustee Strozier. Trustee Strozier. Okay, and myself, Trustee Perry, present. So as of right now, McIntosh and Strozier are absent. At this time, the board will hear any comments from the public. Public members that have joined our meeting remotely are able to submit their comments through the questions section of this platform or may send an email prior to the start of the meeting. Members of the public are reminded that the Board of Education, by its bylaw 1370, are not obligated to answer questions, make statements, or comments in response to issues raised by the public. In general, such issues will be referred to the superintendent for investigation, study, or recommendation. At this time, I will ask Stephen if there are any comments from the public. Though it may take a moment for him to review, I will pause to give time for the public to finalize submitting their questions and allow Stephen to advise before I proceed.
Good evening. I currently only have one question here, which I think I just put up. And I'll read it as follows. This is from Arthur Woodson. My name is Arthur Woodson, and I have been hesitant on writing an email to this board, but after listening to a couple of meetings, I could not take it any longer. Mrs. Wright and Mrs. Stewart, I would like to know if we can have a conversation soon. It is a lot going with our school district. It is upsetting that we cannot call in. What I didn't use the technology or education to write this email, I should be able to call in. I want to take time to thank Mr. Kendall Williams for all the work that he put in towards the GISD hearing. I know Lisa Hagel is big mad right now. We have an opportunity to turn this school district and city around, but we can't do that doing the same thing that we have been doing for the past 30 years. It is time for a change. We must start with our kids.
Is that the only one?
That is currently the only question, yes.
Ms. Perry, can you see my hand?
No, your face is frozen.
Oh,
again? Okay, so it's yours, Ms.
yeah,
Perry.
Vera is too. Now it isn't.
Okay.
No, now it is again.
Is
You're
mine
freezing.
still frozen?
Yes, both of you
Okay.
are.
But anyway,
Oh, am I?
I'd like to make a comment. Mrs. Perry, I'd like to make a comment regarding Mr. Wilson's statement. I'm good.
Go
thank
right
you.
ahead.
Okay, Mr. Wilson's concern about the not being able to call in is a concern that I've heard. That's the second time. And Monica is researching what our duties are as it relates to doing meetings virtually, because the governor's executive order spells things out. And I understand it as written by email or by phone call, and others can interpret it as we have to do both. But we are researching it so that we are sure that we're doing the right thing, because we don't want to break any rules as it relates to open meetings. So we are looking into that, and hopefully by our next meeting, we will have the correct answer.
Good afternoon, board members. This is Board Member Strozier coming from his office in Saginaw.
Hello, Mr. Strozier.
Hi, Mr. Strozier. Good to hear from you. Glad you're
Were you
here.
Thank
trying
you.
to say something? Blake?
No, ma'am, go ahead.
Oh,
Just wanna let
I
you know
thought
I'm
you wanted a comment. Okay. Did administration have anything to say in response to that?
Not at this time. I think Mrs. Wright covered what I would have said. Thank you.
Okay. The community is reminded that they may submit their questions by email to FBOE@flintschools.org to have their questions read at the next meeting. Thank you. New business action items, Human Resources Committee action item. Mrs. Washington, could you come and please present the information to the board?
Yes,
And this
good
is action
afternoon.
item 1.2.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Perry. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I seek your approval to move action item 1.2, personnel recommendations, to the special board meeting tonight, July 16, 2020, for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Danielle, you're muted. Can't hear.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any discussion? Seeing none. Let's see. Wait a minute, is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, the action is to move action item 1.2, personnel recommendations, to the special meeting for adoption. Will be conducted by a roll call vote. Board members, as I call your name, please say yes or no to approve this motion to move it to the special meeting. Vice President Wright,
Yes.
Secretary Ramsdale,
Yes.
Treasurer Green,
Yes.
Trustee McIntosh, Trustee Strozier,
Yes.
myself, Trustee Perry, yes. The motion passes, and I did not count.
5-0.
4-0.
5-0.
Okay, 5. Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't count Mrs. Wright.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, so it passes 5-0. Thank you, Mrs. Washington.
Thank
can I say
you.
something
Seeing
before
no
we?
further action, I declare the Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Green.
Yeah, I just, since Mr. Arthur Wilson was on, I didn't think about this, but I know I sent you guys a text how wonderful Kendall handled that hearing. I'm telling you guys, if y'all get a chance to watch it, it's long, but he did an amazing job, and I just think he did the best that anybody could do for us and to stack things in our favor. But I want to put this out there. Arthur Woodson and a lot of other community members, I think made this possible because I couldn't get any traction, any movement, no matter who I talked to the governor, nobody seemed to care or thought something could happen, like a hearing or anything. So as a district or as a board, I would like to see us show our appreciation in a form of, I don't know how this works, but I'm thinking a proclamation, a certificate of appreciation, something, because I know in my heart that this would not have moved the way it did without the community support.
Okay, I will defer that over to Vice President Wright, and between she and President Lester, they can come up with something. Is that okay, Ms. Green?
Well, since Mr. Lester has not been involved for a minute, I'm not sure if I don't know how that works because
No.
he's
Okay. Well, the only reason I did that because he is the president, but I'll defer to Mrs. Wright. Is that okay?
Oh,
Okay,
absolutely.
now,
Absolutely.
and I'm not clear, you want this for Mr. Woodson or Mr. Williams?
Oh, no, Mr. Williams, I think he's taken care of.
Okay, you want this okay, well, we'll discuss it further.
Quite well, to be honest.
We'll discuss it
It's
further.
not Mr. Woodson either. He spearheaded this though, but it was so many community members involved. And the
Okay, I understand. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll discuss. I think we need to discuss it further as to how we'll do that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all of them deserve, and
Blake is saying something.
yeah, a school district can't survive without the support of the community. They have,
Right. We need to, yeah. I agree. We do need to acknowledge them in some
Do it.
way.
yes.
Mr. Soldier was saying something, guys. I think we were cutting him off.
I've learned when to be quiet, but it's a lot of individuals that were very instrumental in us getting this opportunity to at least get this far, And we know that while this decision is not yet final with how things are going to go through, it's at least good to give them their flowers while they're still able to see them, and let them know how much we appreciate them standing up there. Well, I'm at the church right now, so but
in
I just
preaching
think it's a
mode.
wonderful opportunity for us to just reach out to them, because some of them were discouraged. I'm not even gonna lie. And
What I think all of them were, you know, along with, you know, myself, it was awful. But I'm telling you, if we stand a chance, Kendall, he made it happen. I'm telling you, y'all gotta go watch it. I mean, listen, I'm
We
telling you,
Nobody will argue. He did.
yes, he did.
Okay, so we've come up with the plan. Am I understanding?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So
Thank you,
seeing no
guys.
further action, I declare the Human Resources Committee of the whole meeting adjourned. I now turn the floor over to Vice President Wright to conduct the special board meeting.
Okay,
Time of adjournment, I have 6:12 on my computer.
Okay. All right, give me a minute.
I don't know that.
to the board members, I'm excited. We have gotten in our PPE for the church, and I'm excited to have it all sit in my office. So
Good.
You
Good.
have who?
His PPE, what's
personal
that?
protection. We got
Oh, your personal
hand
protection.
sanitizing stations, gloves, masks. Yeah, we got the whole shebang of bang.
Oh,
My office
good,
is the new utility closet.
good, good.
Okay,
Well,
I'm
not
having
good, Danielle.
difficult. Okay, I'm gonna get started in just a second, guys. I had the wrong script up again.
I got the wrong one. I got the wrong agenda or something.
Not-
Just go by memory, Miss Wright.
You know what? Every time I do that, I really screw it up.
We may not know
I
screwing it
wouldn't
up.
Okay, you know what, Mrs. Ramsdale, I'm gonna do just that. Oh, now I can't find the old one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do just that.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call to order the Flint Community Schools Special Board Meeting at 6:12 p.m. Board members, we will do a roll call attendance. Please when I call your name, please let me know if you are present. Danielle Green,
Present.
Casey Lester, absent. Carol McIntosh, absent. Vera Perry,
Present.
Betty Ramsdale, Mrs. Ramsdale,
Present.
Blake Strozier,
Present.
and Diana Wright, present.
Not saying
At this-
Casey's name, because Miss Perry didn't say it either. I'm just wondering. I know he's not here, but we just don't say his name. Do we have to do it for the record?
I said his name.
honey.
I said his name.
Oh, I totally missed it. I'm sorry. I missed that.
Yeah,
And I said his name.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
yes. At this time, the board will hear any comments from the public. Public members that have joined our meeting remotely are able to submit their questions through the questions section or may send an email prior to the meeting. Members of the public are reminded that the Board of Education, by its bylaw 1370, are not obligated to make statements or commitments in response to issues raised by the public. In general, such issues will be referred to the superintendent for investigation, study, or recommendation. At this time, I'd like to ask Stephen if there are any comments from the public. So that should take a moment.
Good evening again. I did get a few just a few seconds ago, so I didn't have time to copy it over to the Word document for you to read, but I will read them back to back. So there's one here from Eddie Thomas. It says, "Where can you find the video of Mr. Woodson?"
For the hearing,
Yes, I believe that's what he's
so you
referring
go
to.
on my page, it's on my Facebook page, or Arthur Woodson's page. I know I shared them from his page, and it's all 3 days on there.
Okay. All right, and the next one here is from Mr. Bruce Jordan. Does the new assistant superintendent have teaching experience, the necessary credentials for the position? And then the last here from a Clayton Purtle. Oh, I think he was just commenting that he was not able to see the webinar and he has since left. So that does it for questions.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. The community is reminded that they may submit their questions by email to FBOE@flintschools.org to have their questions read at the next board meeting. At this time, I'd like to call upon our Human Resources Director, Mrs. Washington, to present action items.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I seek your approval to move action item 1.2, personnel recommendations.
So move.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we approve action item 1.2, personnel recommendations. Is there any discussion?
Just clarity, this is to approve this, so if they are, then they accept the position. We said we're not moving it anyplace else. This is its final resting place, right? For our approval.
Yes, yeah, we moved it in the previous meeting was committee of the whole. Now we're at a regular board meeting to confirm.
Yes, well, the word moving it to I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay.
Yes. Any other comments or discussion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, the vote is on the motion to approve action item 1.2, personnel recommendations. We will do this by roll call vote. Mrs. Perry?
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
I'm sorry, my
Could you please
Siri
repeat
is
what you said?
responding. No. Mrs. Ramsdale?
I'm not sure I'm hearing you correctly. My apologies.
Mrs. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Strozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Wright? Yes, the motion passes 5-0. Okay, is there any comment or question or remarks from board members?
I got a question.
Ms. Green and then Ms. Ramsdale.
I'm just looking at the administrators that's changing assignments. So I think Miss Daphne Jackson, it says acting principal versus Eddie Thomas saying principal. Is there a difference between the two?
That would
Yes.
be a question. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Thomas is currently a principal, so he will be moving over to Eisenhower for the new school year. And then Ms. Jackson was the acting principal at Flint Junior High while we were going through the process of selecting a principal. And so that principal has been selected and has accepted. And so as a result, her acting assignment is moving over to Doyle Ryder because of the recent approval of the assistant superintendent position, which created a vacancy at Doyle Ryder.
Oh, so okay, that makes sense. Okay, and Ms. Washington, we had a conversation, I think it was yesterday, and I just wanted you to, briefly share with my fellow board members about the form we talked about. I think that's the biggest, because I haven't gotten an email yet, so I'm not sure if I missed it. But that's a form if you could just share a little bit about that for the community and other board members.
Sure, absolutely. So prior to the interview process, conducting the interview process, there's a series of documents that are provided in the packet. And one of the documents is a conflict of interest form. And so this form was implemented when I had the opportunity and privilege to join the team. and lead human resources. And so as we looked at our interview process, we noticed that there is a policy that the board has in regards to conflict of interest, but there wasn't one that existed amongst the interview process, so that any person who was participating on an interview panel will have the opportunity to disclose or reference if there were any concerns with possible conflicts of interest during the interview process. And so that form is a standardized part of the process. It indicates what certain conflicts of interest could be. It gives the interviewee an opportunity to identify if there's a conflict of interest and sign off on the form. So this is implemented in the process prior to conducting the interviews. It must be viewed and signed off on and sent back to Human Resources before the interview process begins. This is a mechanism that we use to ensure that there is a fair and equitable hiring practices within the district, and to ensure that the process is conducted also with integrity and ethicalness. And so should a conflict arise, we would like to know ahead of time so that we can properly construct the interview process to ensure that we don't have any concerns in regards to those who serve on the interview panel who may have such a conflict. And so I did share that with Ms. Green on yesterday, and I will get the document to you and through Ms. Stewart and the rest of the board members, so that you can actually see what the form looks like. So it's a one-pager, and it has a description on the form of conflicts of interest. There's a section where a person can elect that they do not have a conflict, and there's one where they can identify that they do. And then once that's provided to Human Resources, we will take the appropriate steps in order to ensure that the interview process is conducted appropriately.
Thank you, Ms. Washington.
Yeah. So it provides full transparency.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, if there are no, did anyone else have anything they wanted to say?
I thought
Okay.
Betty had her hand up.
Oh, Mrs. Ramsdale?
Oh, I said it's full.
Oh,
Yes, thank you, Vera. But yes, that's great. That's as it should be.
Okay, well, seeing no further discussion or action, this meeting is adjourned.
Bye,
Thank
bye,
you.
everybody.
All right, good
Thank
night,
you.
everybody. Good night.
Everybody, take care.